Hey, good morning, students. Now, in today's video, we are going to learn the transport phenomena. And before starting to learn this transport phenomena, let's have a quick recap on the last lecture. So, in the last lecture, we have studied various kind of flow regimes, and we also understood that what is a flow regime, and it's a three kind of flow regimes. And we have studied that what is actually used to categorize the flow regimes, and two kind of numbers we have studied. One is called as a Reynolds number, and second one is a Coulson number, right? And their ranges also we have studied. So let's go ahead for the transport phenomena. Now we know that we have already studied this kind of a transport phenomena in earlier standard. There are basically this kind of three kind of transport phenomena. One is called as the viscosity, second one is a diffusion, and third one is a thermal conduction. So these are transport phenomena. Why those are called as a transport phenomena? Because these phenomena transport some physical quantity from one point to other point. That's why those are called as a transport phenomena, right? And we know that very well. The gas molecule possesses a mass, energy, and momentum. And as mass, energy, momentum transferred from one point to other point, so this helps to transfer some other physical quantities also, right? So if gas is in a steady state, then mass, energy, and momentum gets transported across the unit area is a zero, right? If it is steady, then no energy, no momentum, and no mass will get transported, right? Due to equal transport in a reverse direction, so that no net transport will be zero. If gas is not in the steady state, then these following phenomena occurs. That's phenomena of viscosity, diffusion, and thermal conduction, right? Now let's try to understand in brief the first one, that is phenomena of viscosity. If the component of velocity of a mass have not same values in all parts of the gas, then there will be a relative motion of the layers of a gas with respect to the viscosity. Thus viscosity is due to transport of momentum. Transfer of mass means transfer of momentum, isn't it? Right? And what we can say about thermal conduction? If the temperature of gas is not same throughout the gas, then thermal energy is carried from one region to other region, from low temperature region to high temperature region, right? From high temperature region to low temperature region. This gives rise to the phenomenon of thermal conduction, and thus the thermal conductivity of a gas is due to the transport of energy, transport of heat. Heat is a form of energy, right? Viscosity is due to a transport of momentum, mass. And let's have a brief look on the third kind of a phenomena, that is a phenomenon of diffusion. And if the molecular density, that is the number of molecules per unit volume of a gas, is not same throughout the gas, then molecules diffuses from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration, and this gives rise to the phenomena of diffusion. Thus diffusion of a gas is due to transport of mass. This phenomena of viscosity, conduction and diffusion in gases are known as a transport phenomena because they represent respectively the transport of momentum, energy and mass, right? So in short we can say, in case of a viscosity, the phenomena of viscosity or viscosity is due to transport of momentum. I mean, it's a basically based on a velocity transfer. So that's why in case of viscosity the momentum transfer happens, not mass transfer. And in case of heat conduction, the transport of energy happens, transport of heat happens. And in case of diffusion phenomena, the transport of mass takes place, right? So that's the brief look on all the three different kind of transport phenomena. Now let us consider, these are the three different layers, layer A, B, C. Layer A is in the middle, B is the upper layer with respect to layer A, and layer C is the down layer with respect to A, and lambda is the distance between these layers. Now let us consider V is the velocity of these layers. Lambda is the distance between them as well as its a mean free path. What is the mean free path? It's a distance between the two collisions of the molecules, and right. And what is the dv by dz? It's a rate of change of velocity with respect to the distance between the layers, right? So we know that as a gas shows a property of a viscosity by virtue of which gas possesses a relative motion between the different layers, isn't it? Suppose gas flowing along a horizontal surface. You can consider the flow of water in the river. So let the horizontal plane is taken as a XOY plane. So you can refer the figure, earlier figure. And the gas is flowing from left to the right, right? From negative x-axis to positive x-axis, from left to the right. The layer in constant with the surface is at rest. The viscosity of the layer of the gas increases in the direction of z-axis. In a particular plane of velocity will be same everywhere. I mean, the velocity will be same everywhere in a particular plane. So let us say A, B, C be the three different gas layers which are separated by distance lambda, and lambda is a mean free path. Let V be the velocity of the gas in layer A, and if dV by dz be the velocity gradient along z axis, then velocity of the gas in layer C will be V minus lambda into dV by dz, and that in the layer B will be V plus lambda into dV by dz. Why V minus lambda dV by dz for layer C? Because it's a downmost layer which has a friction with the ground as well as with layer A, whereas the B layer has its velocity V plus lambda into dV by dz. Why it is plus? Because its velocity will be more as compared to A and C because it's uppermost layer and it has a friction only with the layer A, middle layer, right? Hope you have understood this because this is, it's not much difficult to understand. So since the distance between the layer is equal to the mean free path, when the molecules moves from one layer A to B, right? That means from middle layer to upper layer or B to A, from upper layer to middle layer, the molecules travel without collisions. Those molecules moving in random direction, it can be assumed that about 1/3 of the molecules are moving along each axis and 1/6 of the molecule can be moving along positive direction and negative direction of the coordinates axis. Now let us consider one more thing. Let us say N is the number of molecules per unit volume of the gas and M is the mass of each molecules. And let us say capital C is the RMS velocity of molecules. Now consider a unit area in layer A, middle layer, then the number of molecules from layer B crossing the unit area of A in the unit time in the downward direction is 1/6 times MNC, right? And the corresponding mass transported will be MNC by 6. Therefore, the total momentum transported from molecule moving downward from B and crossing the layer A per unit area per unit time will be equals to M suffix N into C MNC by 6 into V plus lambda into dV by dz. Similarly, the total momentum transported by molecule upward from layer C and crossing the layer A per unit area per unit time will be MNC by 6 into the velocity of the layer V minus lambda into dV by dz. Therefore, the net momentum loss by the layer B and hence the gain momentum by the layer C per unit area per unit time will be equals to subtraction between the two layers momentum. So MNC by 6 into V plus lambda dV by dz minus MNC by 6 into V minus lambda dV by dz, right? So what will be the net momentum? The net momentum will be equal to, if you do this subtraction, then we'll get 2 MNC, this N is a suffix. So 2 M suffix NC by 6 into lambda into dV by dz, and then we'll get MNC by 3 into lambda dV by dz. So the net momentum will be equal to 1/3 of rho C lambda into dV by dz, right? So Mn is the density, rho is equal to Mn, and that's why we got here the net momentum transfer is equals to 1/3 of rho CV C lambda into dV by dz. The change in momentum per unit time is the force. Therefore, this force is due to the viscosity of gas. The viscous force acting on the layer is proportional to area. So let us consider one more letter, capital A, as the area. It's not a layer, it's the area of the layer. And velocity gradient dV by dz, and hence we can say this force F is proportional to A, area of the layer, into velocity gradient dV by dz, and hence on the next line I can write F is equals to eta into A dV by dz, where this eta is equals to the coefficient of viscosity of a gas, right? So, and then I can write for eta equals to F by A. So force upon unit cross sectional area is this eta, right? Into, so this will give you eta into dV by dz, right? This must be here actually, it's gone on the down line. So force upon area is equal to eta into dV by dz, it's a multiplied. So this gives us the viscous force per unit area. Now if you compare this equation number 1 and 2, so this will give us eta into dV by dz is equals to 1/3 rho c lambda into dV by dz, right? And this gives us the eta is equal to 1/3 of rho ct. And what is this? What is this? This is the coefficient of viscosity, right? Now I think we'll discuss this in the next lecture. So thank you.